Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Former RHOC star Lydia McLaughlin is breaking her silence on the shocking death of her brother, Geoffrey Shyam Stirling. He was allegedly shot on Thursday, April 17th, and subsequently passed away. So what does she have to say about the tragic incident? Keep reading for further details. Fans of the RHOC may remember Lydia McLaughlin from her run on the show. She first appeared on the hit Bravo reality series in Season 8 as a friend of Alexis Bellino's. Her family was very into their faith, and she occasionally struggled with what the women were up to. Yet, she tried to make the most of it and her time there. She was also known for her very eclectic, glitter-throwing mother, Judy. Lydia then returned in Season 12 as a close confidant to Tamra Judge, but stayed just one season again. Unfortunately, in October 2024, her mother passed away, and that was a hard pill to swallow. As she is still mourning her mom, her brother, Geoffrey Shyam Stirling, was shot by the police during a routine traffic stop. He was on his motorcycle and allegedly did not cooperate with the police. Geoffrey was shot once. The Newport Beach PD issued this statement regarding his death. On April 17, 2025, at approximately 9:15 p.m., a Newport Beach Police Department officer conducted a traffic stop on a motorcycle on West Coast Highway between Superior Avenue and Hoag Hospital. The rider, identified as Geoffrey Shyam Stirling, a 45-year-old resident of Laguna Niguel, was stopped for a traffic violation. Shortly after being stopped, Stirling became uncooperative and assaulted the officer. During the ensuing violent altercation, Stirling managed to remove the department-issued taser from the officer's duty belt and attempted to deploy it multiple times against the officer. At that point, an officer-involved shooting occurred. Obviously, the news of Geoffrey's shooting rocked Lydia and her family. She has just issued her own statement regarding his tragic death and the family's intense pain. My family has experienced an unimaginable loss. My brother Jeff was tragically taken and our hearts are shattered. I can't believe we're facing this pain just 6 months after losing my best friend and mother. I know they're both with Jesus now, and he's walking with me through this darkness, one step at a time. Thank you to everyone who has been praying for us. The RHOC alum turned her comments off for this, as it is a very difficult time navigating a course without Geoffrey. He was just 45 at the time of his death, and after it initially happened, Lydia shared that she and her family were devastated by the loss. However, they were appreciative of all of the love and prayers they had received, but asked for privacy. Lydia McLaughlin's former RHOC co-star, Vicki Gunvalson, sent her condolences to the family via social media. Lydia, I am so sorry to hear of the loss of your brother. My heart hurts for you and your family. Peace be with you. Another one-season wonder, Lizzie Rosek, also expressed her sympathies to Lydia. Love you so much. It is unclear if any of the other ladies privately reached out to send their love to Lydia and her family. She has been gone for some time, and not everyone appreciated her. However, this is not a time to let old anger resurface. Rather, she needs as much love and care as possible to get through this. Earlier this month, Lydia McLaughlin shared that she had been attending a grief support group. She was still dealing with her mother's passing and needed some guidance. Hopefully, these wonderful people can continue to help guide her along the way, sending love and light to Lydia and her family at this heart-wrenching moment. It was just after 9 p.m. on a quiet Thursday night when the sound of sirens and gunfire broke the calm along the Pacific Coast Highway in Newport Beach. What followed would ripple across not only a community, but the life of one woman who had once opened her home and heart to reality TV cameras. Lydia McLaughlin, former cast member of the Real Housewives of Orange County, would wake to a nightmare no one could script. Her older brother, Geoffrey Shyam Stirling Jr., had been fatally shot by police during a traffic stop. He was 45 years old. Geoffrey had been riding his motorcycle through Newport Beach, a ride he'd probably taken 100 times before. Known for his love of adventure, motorcycles, and independent spirit, he wasn't just any man on the road. He was a son, a brother, an uncle, a creative soul. And yet that night would end in tragedy. According to police reports, Geoffrey was stopped by local authorities for a traffic violation. What began as a routine stop escalated rapidly. Officers claimed he became uncooperative and allegedly attempted to use an officer's taser. The confrontation turned physical and gunshots rang out. Local resident Guillermo Tegalagan told On Scene TV that he heard 6 or 7 shots pierce the air. Geoffrey was rushed to the hospital, but he didn't make it. No officers were injured, and the California Department of Justice has launched an independent investigation into the shooting. Just 2 days after the shooting, Lydia broke her silence. In a statement shared with media outlets, she said, "My family and I are devastated by the loss of my brother. We are grateful for the outpouring of love and support from friends, family, and the community. We kindly ask for privacy as we mourn." Her voice, usually one of bubbly optimism and firm faith, was now filled with raw grief. She had only just begun healing from another deep loss, her mother, Judy Stirling, who passed away from breast cancer in October 2024. Within just 6 months, Lydia had lost the 2 pillars of her life. To the public, Geoffrey might have been just a name in a headline, but to those who loved him, he was so much more. "He was a loving son, brother, uncle, and friend," said Lydia's father, Scott Stirling, in a separate statement. "He was a television producer, scriptwriter, actor, and model. He attended church every Sunday and supported multiple charities. We miss him already." It wasn't the kind of resume people expect when they hear of a fatal police encounter. Geoffrey was creative, spiritual, and deeply involved in causes bigger than himself. But like many people, he had struggles. And like so many encounters with law enforcement, this one has left behind more questions than answers. It's easy to reduce a moment like this to statistics or crime briefs. But Lydia is not just a former reality star, she is a sister in mourning. A woman who once appeared on TV surrounded by the glamour of Orange County now faces something profoundly real and deeply painful. Her Instagram tribute to her late mother just days before her brother's death was full of hope and healing. She wrote about attending Grief Share, a support group for people experiencing loss. "It's helped me in my healing and processing," she said. She had no idea that another grief was just days away. Her social media has since gone quiet. Lydia, a mother of 3 boys, left RHOC after season 12 to focus on her family and spiritual life. Fans of the show often saw her bubbly personality, her strong Christian values, and her tight-knit bond with her mom, Judy, who also appeared on the series. Together, they ran a magazine, navigated reality TV fame, and leaned into their faith. Now, Lydia stands alone in ways she probably never imagined, without her mother and without her brother. The emotional weight of such compounded loss can be crushing. And for someone who built her brand on joy, faith, and beauty, it's a hard turn into darker waters. As news outlets picked up the story, a familiar debate reignited: the tension between law enforcement and the public, the protocol around officer-involved shootings, and the importance of accountability. California Attorney General Rob Bonta confirmed that the state's Department of Justice is investigating the shooting. The review will eventually go to the DOJ's Special Prosecutions Section for independent analysis. Yet for Lydia and her family, no investigation can bring Geoffrey back. The silence he left behind speaks louder than the gunshots that took his life. Fans of Lydia McLaughlin have taken to social media to express condolences, many remembering her bright personality and warm demeanor on RHOC. Some have shared prayers, others their own stories of loss. Her faith, once a focal point of her TV narrative, now serves as a foundation for getting through what might be the darkest season of her life. In interviews past, Lydia has often said, "God gives us grace when we don't have strength." Now, those words ring truer than ever. For the McLaughlin Stirling family, the road ahead is uncertain. There will be funeral arrangements, public speculation, and a months-long investigation. But underneath it all is the quiet work of mourning, a task no one trains for, one that plays out slowly, painfully, privately. Lydia's statement was simple, elegant, and profoundly human. She thanked the community for its love. She asked for privacy. She acknowledged the pain. And though it may take months or even years, she will likely continue to share her journey through grief, just as she shared her life with the world on TV. It's impossible to imagine the depth of sorrow Lydia feels. Losing a sibling is like losing a piece of your past, someone who shares your memories, your family history, your childhood secrets. Losing them to violence makes that sorrow even harder to carry. Geoffrey's story may end in headlines, but Lydia's story of love, of loss, of resilience is still being written. In a time when the news cycle moves fast, this moment deserves to be paused on, because behind every story is a real person. Behind every name, a family. And behind Lydia's grief is a truth that's easy to forget. The reality of being human hurts, sometimes deeply. But still, she endures. Please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos.